remarks on Twitter already, but I would also like to express on behalf of the Commission our condolences to the families and to the friends who have lost their loved ones. Our sympathy goes to the Indonesian people and to the Indonesian authorities, and we stand ready to provide any immediate assistance the national authorities could require from us to deal with this. As to the forest fires that Europe is currently experiencing, I have also an update for you. We have just issued a press release which sums up the record EU civil protection operation of the past 3 weeks to fight the fires, notably in Sweden. And I can share with you the impressive figures, which is that over 360 firefighting personnel, 7 planes, 6 helicopters, and 67 vehicles were mobilized, and they reported 850 flying hours and 8,822 drops of water. So the EU has coordinated this collective solidarity support to Sweden from notably Italy, France, Germany, Lithuania, Denmark, Portugal, and Poland. Austria, the Czech Republic, and Turkey have also proposed to help, and 37 satellite maps were produced by the EU's Copernicus program. Commissioner Stylianides is actually currently in Sweden to visit the most affected areas and for an exchange of views with the competent authorities. Talking about satellite maps from the Copernicus program, we have also received requests from Latvia, Spain, and Portugal to provide satellite mapping services to help them assess forest fires on their own territories, and we are in the process of responding to these requests, namely with 10 maps to Portugal, 13 maps to Spain, and 2 maps to Latvia. Let's
continue with the European Solidarity Corps. Today we also have an announcement. The Commission will give aid of 4.2 million to Spain within the framework of the Internal Security Fund, which will help Spain to combat terrorism and organised crime. More specifically, helping them to buy equipment and acquire technology to protect public spaces and to combat online cybercrime. You'll find more information on this in our daily news brief. Finally,
the short announcement. Tomorrow morning, the reimposed US sanctions on Iran enter into force. This is why tomorrow the European Union's updated blocking statute enters into force to protect EU companies doing legitimate business with Iran from the impact of the US extraterritorial sanctions. The updated blocking statute is part of the European Union's support for the continued and full and effective implementation of the Joint Comprehensive Plan for Action, the Iran nuclear deal, including by sustaining trade and economic relations between the European Union and Iran, which were normalized when nuclear-related sanctions were lifted as a result of the Joint Comprehensive Plan for Action. As long as Iran respects its commitments, the EU will of course stick to the agreement of which it was an architect, an agreement that was unanimously ratified by the United Nations Security Council and which is essential for preserving peace in the region and the world. High Representative Mogherini and the foreign ministers of France, Germany, and the United Kingdom have issued a statement today, which you can find online, and we will have a technical briefing on background for all the accredited press just right after the midday briefing, when we will also issue press material that explains how the blocking statute will help protecting our European companies. These were my announcements for today, and now I want to see if you have any questions for us. Yes, please.
I'd like to know if you've already conducted an economic impact assessment of the current drought, especially for farmers across the EU, and if not, do you have an estimation based on previous years with previous droughts? Thank you.
I will call Enrico, but as you know, we need to get the information first from the member states in order to be able to communicate any figures to you.
Yes, as you know, we had press release that went out last week with all our action to fight against the drought and to respond to the requests from member states. We also asked them to monitor the situation and to present all additional elements by August 31st, but we don't have now a bold number we can give to estimate the impact of the drought.
As I said, that will depend on member states providing the information to us beforehand. Anything else before we turn to our technical briefing? Yes, please. It's for Enrico on agriculture, or no? Okay.
No, does it work? Yeah. Sorry. Despite of the technical briefing, could you perhaps on the record give us some more insight in how the blocking statute is supposed to help the European economy? And which way does the Commission want to help businesses? And do you have an assessment of the impact on European economy through US sanctions against Iran?
What I can say is that the blocking statute, once it enters into force at 6 a.m. Our time this morning, will allow EU operators to recover damages arising from US extraterritorial sanctions from the persons causing them, and nullifies the effect in the EU of any foreign court rulings based on them. It also forbids EU persons from complying with those sanctions unless exceptionally authorized to do so by the Commission in case non-compliance seriously damages their interests or the interests of the European Union. These authorizations will be done on the basis of agreed criteria, which will be published in our official journal also at 6 a.m. our time this morning. And our experts are available to walk you through in more detail afterwards. As to the estimates, I don't have anything to communicate here with you on the record at this stage. Please follow up.
There are some businesses that are expecting compensation for probable losses. Who would have to pay for that?
Yes, it is indeed explained in how EU economic operators can ask for compensation, but I refer you to our technical briefing where we can walk you through in detail, and the guidance that will be published and available for all the EU operators, how and where they can claim these damages. Anything else we can help you with today? No? Then yes, please.
Hiya, thank you. Joe Barnes from the Daily Express. I'm just wondering, does the European Commission suffer from intransigence?
Sorry, I did not hear you.
Oh, sorry. Does the European Commission suffer from intransigence? They're the words of Liam Fox, the International Trade Secretary for Britain over the weekend.
Well, I can give you our reaction to the comments that we have seen, and that is that indeed we are working constructively day and night to reach a deal with the United Kingdom, and I think this is also reflected in the fact that the next negotiation round is scheduled for the 16th and 17th of August. An agenda will be published in due course, and the chief negotiator is engaging constructively, as he has always been, by the way, based on the negotiation position agreed by the 27 member states, and that is reflected in the European Council guidelines. Yes, please, Adam.
I bet you can guess what I'm going to ask now. So the 16th and 17th, will that be the principles, or is that at officials level of the negotiations on the 16th? Yeah.
To my understanding, it will be at officials level, but it shall be followed very soon also at political level, because as you know, and as we have said, we are working 24/7, day and night, for a deal. Anything else we can help you with? No? Then we will switch to the off-the-record technical briefing. Just give me a moment to gather the experts and put them around so they can best answer to your questions. And we'll be back in 2 minutes. Bon.